Wales is a land of ancient castles, haunted folklore, and spirits that seem to just refuse to rest. Now, it's a country steeped in myth and mystery, where every stone seems to hold a story and every shadow seems to move. Honestly, narrowing down the most haunted spots to just 5 was quite the challenge, let me tell you that. With places like Cardiff Castle and the famous Green Lady just missing the cut. Oh, and of course Hail Fanog, which I will link in the description. I've done a previous episode on there in the past. But yeah, we all know, if you watch this channel, Wales is an incredibly haunted country. Now, just before we get into it, next week, I just want to say, in 2 weeks' time, I will have a real first ever Urbex ghost hunt that I went on with the guys from Parabugs Unknown the Unknown. So I'll link them in the thing here below, so you can go check out their channel. And we had a great night, not in Wales, but somewhere in England. And yeah, so that's the next episode out, and then after that one comes out, we'll be continuing with top 5 in Scotland and top 5 haunted places in Northern Ireland as well. So, or maybe just Ireland, who knows. But yeah, so that's the that's the plan, basically, I should say. God, I'm talking shit now, aren't I? Jesus, need a drink. Now, our countdown today begins at a place built for suffering, and I am going to get all these words and names of places wrong because the Welsh language evades me. But this place is called Ruthin Gol in Denbighshire. I believe Gol basically means prison. Now, this Victorian era prison once held some of the country's most infamous criminals. Stories of the brutal conditions have left a dark stain on the history of Wales. So it's no wonder so many people believe the tormented souls once locked up there never truly left. And yeah, if I'll get some images, looks like a proper creepy place. Both visitors and paranormal investigators report a whole catalogue of spooky events. Heavy prison cell doors are heard slamming shut, sometimes one after another in a terrifying domino effect. I mean, I'd shit myself if I heard that. Disembodied voices mutter in the dark and sinister areas of the prison. Cackling laughter also echoes down the empty corridors. Many people have even reported the unnerving feeling of an unseen presence sitting right beside them. Now, the prison's most famous spirit is thought to be that of William Hughes, the only man ever executed within its walls, so quite the feat. He was hanged in 1903 for murdering his wife. His restless energy is said to linger in the condemned man's cell. In fact, a motion sensor in the cell meant to trigger commentary for tourists often goes off on its own. So, something in the cell which is motion triggered, when somebody walks past the cell and it starts talking, that often goes off by itself, like somebody's in front of the sensor but nobody's there. Just, creepy. And yeah, it's also good to note at this point that ghost hunters have also noted that Hughes's spirit seems drawn to female visitors, with many women reporting being touched or sensing someone getting uncomfortably close. So did he have something against women? Who knows? But it's interesting that the female people and visitors that go there feel that. Now, it's not just him at the prison, apparently. Another prominent ghost story tells of a former prison guard, William Kerr, who allegedly vanished one day during his rounds. Though it isn't backed by sort of historical records, it is still said that people hear footsteps patrolling the abandoned wings and have to wonder, is it him? For its oppressive atmosphere and the sheer volume of paranormal reports, Ruthin Gol kicks off our list at number 5. And these are just short, condensed, stories that I could find from each individual place. I could literally go into a full episode on its own regarding all of these places on the list. So if you want to, let me know in the comments below and I can do that. But yeah, let's get on to number 4. Coming in at number 4 is a location that mixes romance, betrayal, and a few very unusual ghosts. What more could you want from ghost stories and a haunted place? Now, Cardiff Castle in Pembrokeshire. That is the place. Its history stretches back to the 13th century. This magnificent ruin has seen centuries of conflict and passion. Its most famous ghost is the White Lady, classic, always the White Lady, believed to be the spirit of Princess Nest, known as the Helen of Wales for her stunning beauty. Nest's life was pure drama. In 1109, her own cousin stormed the castle to get her. History is divided on what happened next. Some say she was taken captive, others say she may have gone willingly, but her kindly spirit is now said to wander the castle ruins, a shimmering white figure forever welcoming visitors to her home. But just like with the other place, Princess Nest is far from alone. The castle is also said to be haunted by a kitchen boy heard rattling pots and pans, a Celtic warrior, and get ready for this, ape. God, completely forgot that was in there. A Barbary ape, whatever that is. I'll try and find a picture to put up. But the legend goes that a 17th century resident, Sir Roland Rees, kept an ape as a pet. Now, after a fight with a merchant, Sir Roland supposedly goaded the ape into attacking and killing the man. The ape then vanished, but on a dark and stormy night, its ghostly cries are said to echo from the tower. With its blend of tragic history and bizarre ghost stories, Cardiff Castle is a place where the past feels very, very present. Now, I couldn't find much on this ape, or supposed ape. I think I vaguely remember Most Haunted going to this location and Derek becoming possessed by it at one point, which is just comical. But did it die there? Like, is it just, again, is this stone tape theory where this terrible act happened and now it's being replayed? But yeah, imagine being in the dark on a ghost hunt there and you're seeing a fucking chimpanzee walk past you or come try to attack you. Oh God, rip your face off, the bastards. Anyway, on to the number 3 spot. Now, our journey takes us to the Welsh capital and our number 3 spot, a fortress that has seen over 2,000 years of history, and that is, of course, Cardiff Castle. From its beginnings as a Roman fort and its transformation into the lavish Victorian Gothic masterpiece that we see today, again, I will put pictures up, this castle has witnessed it all. And yeah, with such a long and layered past, it's no surprise its corridors are crowded, or supposedly, with spirits. Now, one of the most active ghosts is said or believed to be the second Marquess of Bute. I'm probably getting that wrong. The man who was behind the castle's opulent design, basically. So apparently he loved his home so much that he never left. Staff and visitors have frequently seen a shadowy figure, thought to be the Marquess, walking through the library, sometimes passing straight through a 6-foot thick wall just to get to the chapel. But the hauntings, like with the others, don't stop there. The ghost of a woman in white, once again, is often seen gliding through the gardens, her presence accompanied by a deep sense of sadness. Spectral Roman soldiers have also been reported marching near the ancient Roman walls buried beneath the modern structure, and during World War II, the castle tunnels were used as air raid shelters. Even today, people report hearing ghostly marching and the clank of armour in those dark, damp passages, and also hearing and seeing people who seem to be sheltering from something in those passages. So, could be the air raid. Again, is this just, stone tape theory? Who knows? I know I keep going back to that in these episodes, but to me, that sort of makes sense because we know energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. And that sort of, in my mind anyway, could explain what ghosts are. So that's why I keep going back to stone tape theory. But yeah, other than those, there's always phantom footsteps and doors slamming on their own apparently. And the activity at Cardiff Castle is so persistent that it easily stands as one of Wales's paranormal hotspots, which is why it's at number 3. But there's 2 scarier places and more haunted places that we're about to get into. But yeah, we are deep into our countdown today, and the stories only get more intense from here. These locations are like magnets to anyone trying to understand what lies beyond our world. So what do you think is behind these hauntings so far? Are they just echoes of the past, or are these spirits that truly are trying to communicate with the living? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you're brave enough to continue this journey, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next investigation into the unknown. Let's go. And at number 2, we find a place where its history is soaked in ale and blood. Sounds like a great time. Don't know about you, sounds like a great time to me. And this is, of course, the Skirrid Mountain Inn in Abergavenny. Again, got that wrong. But yeah, the Skirrid Inn, I remember this from Most Haunted going back years. So it's on my list of places that I want to do an investigation. Definitely, I just need to get there. The Skirrid Inn is one of the oldest and most haunted pubs in all of Wales, apparently. And its history can be tracked back over 900 years. Again, I'll put photos in so you can see what it's all about. Inn has a seriously dark past. For centuries, its first floor was used as a courtroom where the death penalty was handed down for crimes as minor as sheep rustling, which was maybe not quite risque back in the day. But legend says that as many as 180 people were found guilty and hanged from a large oak beam over the main staircase. Some say, and they did this on Most Haunted, they did have a look, that you can still see the chilling rope marks in the wood today. Now, it's this brutal history that is believed to fuel the intense paranormal activity inside the pub's ancient walls. Guests and staff report a terrifying range of phenomena. Many have seen the apparition of a body dangling from the execution beam. The spirit of hanging Judge Jeffreys, famously said to be Judge Jeffreys, is thought to stalk the upper floors. Even though there's no sort of historical proof that he was ever there, people hear phantom footsteps, the rustle of a lady's dress has also been heard, and yeah, things like glasses being thrown off of shelves. Like sort of almost poltergeist activity has been reported, but perhaps most terrifyingly, some visitors standing on the staircase report a sudden sensation of a noose tightening around their necks, leaving them gasping for air and with visible marks on their skin. Now, not all the spirits are menacing. The ghost of Fanny Price, a former landlady, is said to be a gentler presence there. With its grim historical and visceral encounters, the Skirrid Inn is a place where you sort of are truly drinking with spirits and drinking spirits too. But yeah, it's on my list, and I remember that Most Haunted episode where they went there and they went onto the beam and you could see the beam and you could see the mark where the rope used to be. I think what I put there, obviously, about Judge Jeffreys, I believe he was supposed to have been there, and it was him because he's got the nickname Hanging Judge Jeffreys. And yeah, it is said to be, obviously it's all theoretical, it's his spirit that's there because he sentenced so many people to death. And I suppose doing that and taking that many lives effectively does leave an imprint on a location. Or you think it would, wouldn't you? Now, with all that said, you must be thinking, number 1 must be terrifying. Well, it is, and let's get into it. Now, we've arrived at our number 1 spot, a location that combines gothic grandeur with a deep sadness and sickness and, of course, death. It's often called one of the most haunted castles in Wales. Again, Most Haunted have been here, I remember this one. And it's called Cardiff Castle in Powys. Now, this imposing gothic mansion was once the grand estate of Adelina Patti. She is a world-famous 19th century opera singer. Now, she adored the castle and even built a magnificent theatre inside of it. But after Patti's death in 1919, the castle's bright history took a much darker turn. For the next few decades, it was repurposed as a tuberculosis hospital, a place of isolation and death for countless patients, including many, sadly, children. Now, it's this mix of artistic passion and profound sorrow that makes Cardiff a hotbed of paranormal activity, like I guess you can imagine. Now, of course, the spirit of Adelina Patti herself is said to be the castle's most famous resident. Visitors have reported seeing her apparition and hearing her beautiful voice singing in the empty theatre. The story goes that if you sing her favourite song, Home Sweet Home, inside the theatre, you might just conjure her spirit. Legend also claims that her body was embalmed on a slab in the castle cellar, which is now a focal point, apparently, of ghostly energy. But as you can imagine, with all that death, Patti is not alone. The upper floors, which were the old hospital wards, are said to be haunted by the spirits of children, who are often heard playing and laughing. Now, a former doctor is also said to roam the halls, while a darker male spirit reportedly haunts the cellar. With its tragic history, a world-famous diva who refused to take her final bow, and the lingering spirits of those who suffered within its walls, Cardiff Castle is my pick for the most haunted place in Wales. Because so much death, I mean, yeah, there must be something there, and I'll get into it in my next video when I go on my Urbex ghost hunt. But that was an old place basically that used to house sick children as well, and it was really strange. Obviously I'll get into it properly in the episode. What they report at Skirrid is similar to what is reported there, which is, and I felt it, it's like being watched almost. It's like children and the ghosts of children sometimes are a little bit more sort of nervous to come forward. I always felt like there was somebody watching us, and especially from a different area. But again, I'll get into that. But yeah, Skirrid, it's a very scary looking building. I don't even know if they do ghost hunts there anymore, or if you're able to go in, but I might have to visit there at some point, but maybe in the daytime, yeah, not the night, unless you want that. Let me know. Now, from the tortured souls of a Victorian prison to the lonely ghost of a Welsh princess, the haunted places of Wales are a powerful reminder that the past isn't always gone. These stories, passed down for generations, are backed up by modern day encounters. Like, things are happening up until last week in these places, and these encounters are woven into the very fabric of the Welsh landscape. They challenge our understanding of the world and make you ask, are we ever really alone? Now, what do you think? Have you ever visited one of these places, or know someone who has, or experienced something you just couldn't explain? Share your own stories with me in the comments, and until next time, stay spooky, and remember, the island is always watching. Bye.